Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LTA 2025 matchup.
Are the big ones. You can tell disguise once you get that one game up, even that little bit of breathing room, it's suddenly this is going to take a lot of the stress off them. So going into game number 2, not only do you have that win, but now you get to play a little bit more freely. Some of the casters were talking about how in game number 3 last time around, like when you get Otacon buff, you get to play more freely, because you've got a free revive. Now in a best of 3, you've got a little free revive there next one. So we'll see how aggressive they can get, and Dignitas are really sweating because this is it could be all over so quickly. Let's get into Fearless draft number 1 here, though. Our first set with extra Fearless elimination. So this is going to further whittle down here on especially the top lane pool. And that leaves the Cassante open, which was banned last time around. So that's a no-brainer first pick slam.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mbessa's gone. Jace is gone from last game. We already have, the Poppy and the Jax banned out. Poppy, one of my favorite answers into the Cassante. I do think it's quite strong. Of course, there's a lot of different options that Castle can still go towards. You can play things like Gnar if you want to play something standard. But really, you do have a lot of champs still open. Considering this first pick here of the Ashe, and they are going to elect to lock it in. Kallista's still banned out, and a couple of those prime 80 carries were taken last game.
Yeah, I do like getting some utility for bottom lane. Scary Jerry looked a lot better this time around on the Varus. I mean, to Huhi's credit, Huhi did so much setup work in the last game. Ooh, very early Rudy here in answer to the Cassante. So they're not keeping it, in the shroud here. They are slamming it immediately, knowing that this Udyr, I guess technically it could be a jungle Udyr, but I would put those percentage chances extremely low.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for both, it's only one play top, and it lost, and I see no plays in jungle.
Yeah, so I would think that it's going into the Cassante. Of course, you can pivot. It is technically flexible here.
Yep, we'll see exactly what they are going to go towards. Aurora has been locked in. Expecting that, of course, to go mid. Wukong, very strong combo in this. Yeah, exactly. You throw it in the Aurora ult. Wukong comes in. You can retreat back through that Aurora ultimate, but you're going to take the additional damage. You're going to be getting slowed up. It is very difficult to deal with.
Especially when you're playing against an Ashe. The Ashe has no escapes, and I just love this combo so much right now. Wukong, one of the premier junglers. It just gives you so many flank angles. Cassante, Aurora, Wukong, a very strong opener here in draft for Dignitas at the very least, giving them some hope.
I will say, though, I do like Taliyah with a lot of CC, right? You have point-and-click CC with that stun from the Udyr. You also have the Ashe arrow, the potential to grab something like a Leona even, if that is left up, which can be really strong because you can set up with that seismic shove. A champion like Aurora really relies on the mobility and the evasiveness to kind of stay alive, so if you can get that stun into the seismic shove, can be pretty deadly. You also have both the Wukong and the Cassante, which are really reliant on those dashes for their engage, and the rocks make that a lot more difficult.
And just as a lane, she has a very good lane into Aurora as far as solo queue stats go, for sure, and is definitely one of the more popular ones, picking the Taliyah into the Aurora here. So we'll see about mid lane push into those roams, because both champions have very, very big possibilities of affecting side lanes here. And when one of them has a utility bottom lane with Ashe arrows coming, might be a very interesting scenario. Let's take a look, though. Jungle reveal here for XU. What is it going to be? Obviously, he wants an AD fighter to go with his AP mid laner here with the Taliyah. And so they are going to opt for this Xin Zhao. Very good with being that frontline team fight, regardless of the scenario, with Aurora and Wukong trying to come in from the sides.
Yeah, so they're just going to grab the immediate
full dive
plus Nautilus. As you said, yeah, full dive. This is going to be a nightmare game for the Ashe and potentially the Taliyah as well. Leona, one of those supports I called out, is a great pairing with the Taliyah, but of course, you're going to be really nervous if they can actually get that backline, get in onto them. It's going to be very, very difficult. That being said, I will say Xin Zhao and the Udyr, both great counter engage. When you're trying to fight past them, it can be pretty difficult to actually, walk past them and just try to ignore those champions and go straight for the backline. They are two that can really punish you. A lot of slows, a lot of stuns that can really disrupt things and give a chance for Scary Jerry and Avadaga to maybe stay safe.
Yeah, a lot of these champions on DSG, though, are known to be prone for pickoffs, like Ashe. even Xin Zhao himself, if towards the mid stages of the game where you're roaming through river, like if there's a Nautilus on the enemy team roaming around, the enemy mid lane is Aurora, Wukong, like it's a lot of things. So you have to be fairly careful about your pathing, so you don't get yourself into one of those scenarios since your mobility is more limited in the escape routes. I think DSG's comp looks very good from ahead, but definitely not from behind. And Dignitas here, a lot of teams, or at least in the last series that DSG played, Scary Jerry was a big target and had a hard time playing when there was a lot of pressure focused at him. So seems like clearly they have drafted a lot of heavy dive and a lot of flank possibilities to try and apply that pressure to him and see if he can have the same sort of game like we saw in the previous one that was really nicely set up.
Yep, and last game, was able to perform a lot better than last week. Was deathless at the end of it, if I do recall correctly. Maybe building a little bit of confidence from that. We'll see how he performs here in game number 2. It's match point for Disguise. Dignitas has no more games to give or their split is over. And Disguise trying to close it out here and move one step closer to that potential trip to Brazil to claiming top 4, where they would finish off in that Americas tournament here against the LTA South teams as DSG on the map. Moving down towards that bottom side are going to be able to spot Isles, and we can again go back to all of the trash talk that XU was throwing out towards Dignitas. It was just again and again he was hitting them in the Trasho, he was hitting them on pros, he was tweeting at them. He's got some strong feelings about this team. The kettle noise.
I was like, are you doing that? What is going on? He's overheating. Look at it.
The complete depths of hell is crazy. What? That's crazy.
The animation looks kind of sick, though, with the steam coming out of his ears as well.
Shout out production team. Doing good, doing good.
Production team doing a little of the trash talk during, the trash talk afterwards.
A little tag team combo with XU and the production team.
Yeah, exactly. I like too that he shouts out like, "Hey, I have friends on Dignitas. Tomo and Isles are my friends, but they're the enemy.
Boys.
They're the enemy now. Yes, yeah. Too bad for them. They are on the enemy."
Oh, that ward wasn't quite far enough over. By the way, they didn't actually spot Castle coming in, but they are going to have a lane swap here. It is going to be Castle in that 1v2 situation. Honestly, both these top laners are pretty resilient, in the 1v2, very hard to dive. We'll see if Castle, does get spotted. He's going to be pushed out of that brush. Sometimes people can kind of just wait in that brush, but these days, almost always going to get checked.
Yeah. It is really nice, though, for Dignitas, for Tomo here on Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa right now, scales so well, especially with these dive comps, but the early lane phase, not the greatest. So into the lane swap here we go. And I really, really highly emphasize tracking junglers in these lane swaps. And you can see both of them are just kind of farming their quote-unquote strong sides first, where their duo lanes are.
And you can see Scary Jerry, really nice stats from that last game. 34% of the team's damage. In the last games last week, he did 16% of the team's damage. Yeah. So, really a much better performance here. They are going to try to set up for a potential dive. This is considered very risky because it pushes him faster. The cannon comes later. Often you can get level 2, but Surdy is not level 2. He got zoned off of the melee minion XP. Let's see if they can pull off the dive. Surdy trying to buy time to get some experience here. They're going to start up the dive now with the Ignite. Huhi holding aggro, and that is a freebie well executed by DSG.
Yeah, really nicely done. You can tell the small things. Like XU goes in, he preps his Q on the tower, gets it to the third Talon strike first, so he can get that knock up instantly. They tank the tower easily.
Not
that.
Confused with the second Talon strike.
Nope, the second Talon strike doesn't knock him up, so you need that third one. Get that CC done, and that was done really well because, like you say, with the turrets heating up stronger now, the damage ramps up very quickly. It can really get out of check when you're playing against a Cassante with Flash, but they don't let him do anything.
And to me, the biggest thing of that entire run of play is that they zoned him off the melee minion experience, right? They pushed up so far in lane that he couldn't actually get in for that. And that meant he was not level 2. If he's level 2 there and he has his W and his E, that is a much harder dive to make happen. They probably don't even go for it. Surdy couldn't get the experience, ends up really paying for that. As they're able to find a very effective dive. Now is level 3, but still, Scary Jerry just kind of picking away at him. He's got to be a bit careful here. You get much lower, it could just be a redive. We know that XU is in the area, and you can see that Isles is moving out to try to cover.
Exactly. They're swapping back already here. They got their recall off from the top side first. And arriving here in time, Isles will be able to get the experience on this first little bit of minions that die. Tomo's pretty far behind, so Tomo's actually missing out. That was 3 cannons. Snipe? Nope. Gets in for the last little bits here, though.
And they're going to miss out on some minions on top side, right? Because Castle has that fully shoved in, so some of those minions are dying right now for Surdy. In fact, he loses the whole wave, and the wave will push away from him. So DSG already 600 gold ahead, feeling really good about this start.
I mean, it's a full level lead at the moment for Castle here on the Udyr.
Yeah, he's close to 5.
Udyr gets a very, very annoying. Fimbulwinter build going to be very, very tanky. Caney, though.
Let's see. Flash forward. Nice connect there. Caney, though, was able to go across the veil and was invis. So even though the Zenith Blade connected, he couldn't follow it up with a stun because it was invisible for Aurora. But still, trade of flashes, you are feeling really good about that, especially because Aurora already used the teleport and is now pretty vulnerable.
Yeah, and if Aurora had gone the other way to the right instead, who he might have just gotten out of that with getting nothing for his flash. So probably quite happy to have traded the flashes, especially pre-6 here as Aurora gets to level 6. If Aurora has ult and flash, then she can just cross multiple screens, including worlds, to be able to get to your AD carry and go for those roam burst potential ganks. So taking away that flash can be critical for your carries sometimes.
Yep, we can see again, you know, it is the swap back, but again, Castle has the push much faster. DSG is making these lane assignments really seem to go their way every single time. They have the push on both sides, so they're going to be able to be the first ones to move over towards a potential Grubs if they want to look for that, which is spawning in a couple seconds. Already trying to clear out this vision and really set up for it. Abadaga is there. Castle has backed off, has his teleport available, where Surdy does not. So it does not really feel like these are realistic to contest here for Dignitas.
Yeah, and then if you look even in the one-on-one too, Castle there still retains like his full level lead over Surdy. As soon as he gets one more minion, there you go. So still has his level lead. So trying to chunk him down. He'll get the early push while his team gets those grubs. So you're getting your objectives. You still have the side lane pressure, as you say, and now
Ui going in. Here comes the Weaver's Wall. Abadaga going to try to follow this one up. It's a flash forward from Isles. Can he hit the seismic shove? He can't. Great backstep from Isles, but it might not even matter. The damage coming in. The arrows raining in on him from Scary Jerry. The Ignite claiming the final kill.
Dude, DSG are actually just smacking Dignitas. They are clean. They are running them around the map. Game number 1, they were racking up the kills. Game number 2, they are better in the swaps. They are better on the recall timings. Like, they are, yeah, they have been universally kind of destroying this organizational rivalry. And as he said, you know, we have been kind of looking for the trash talk back from the side of Dignitas, kind of the rebuttals, you know, where's the content going to be? Are they going to say anything back to Toast, who's like calling them out a bunch? But, you know, maybe there was a reason they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking tough. Maybe they have something prepped, but, you know, if you get beat like this 2-0, it's tough to really say anything back. And I've got to say, you know, there was a lot of talk about Shaden being back in the lineup, about how that was going to make a big difference for them. Obviously, Coach Lyra had to step in and play for them as a sub last week, but Shaden really has yet to make a big impact in this series. I'm waiting for that splash that we know he can bring on this roster.
Meanwhile, it has looked clean from the side of DSG here so far, but we'll see as they transition over to this Dragon. Should be able to get it. I mean, bottom lane is pushed in, mid lane is pushed in. Got the early lead on it, so I don't think Shaden wants to fight it. He's going for a full recall here, and smooth sailing for DSG just continues.
It's such a complete turnaround from last week as well, where they looked dizzy on the map. They didn't really seem to have a good idea of how to play out these situations. You know, last week it was just Castle, and then the rest of his team weren't really on the same page. This week they've looked so on the same page. And even going back to last game, the double TPs, where Castle and Abadaga are very synced up. The engages were good, how they're moving around the map and extending their advantages after the early lane swap dive, the lane assignments. You know, everything is really feeling like it has leveled up massively from DSG.
Nice little chunk here from Castle. Wins the Ward Wars, very important.
Surdy's got to be careful. He is getting pretty low. We know that Shaden is coming around, and Castle's saying, you know what, not going to mess with it. I don't know exactly where the rest of your teammates are. Does have a pink ward, though, over by the enemy blue buff, so now has the info where this Wukong is. Aurora's missing from mid lane, though, so Castle's still going to play with some respect.
And that's really who you're looking at for the side of Dignitas to create some sort of comeback for them is Aurora plus Wukong. This is one of my favorite combinations in the current meta. I love this engage potential from these two champions. Both of them are individually strong. Both of them are strong in combination. But when your opponents have deep wards like that and they're tracking your jungle tracking, not only does it see you on Gromp, but then they're like, hey, now we know for the next 15 seconds he's on Wolves after Gromp, and then he's clearing to that side of the map, and then they just saw Aurora as well. Plus they have hawk shots that then also find you and make it even more annoying. Like, how are you going to get your surprise play off under full vision of the enemy? So we shall see about that. Scary Jerry, last hawk shot was good. Did see them on the move up, and so now they're kind of like, they know they have to defensively re-sweep. It's like kind of like shooter games where you have to retake territory. They're retaking their own side of the jungle, clear out that vision, make sure the flank threats are not there.
Yep, and they're going to try to do just that. The DSG moving forward, clearing out some of these wards. And it is DSG only 1 kill away from the Feat of Warfare and only 1 objective away from claiming that as well, because they got the full grubs and the early dragon.
And only 1 game away from sending Dignitas out.
That's the hidden 4th feat of strength.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, maybe against the wall they were looking for some possibility, but not quite close enough, so nobody goes for the full engage there. Of course, they do have Abadaga's teleport and his ultimate both ready, so you can tell the hovers are ready.
Engage, potentially. Nope, deciding not to go for it. I mean, they either have to respond to top or force something now, right?
Yeah, I love even just looking at the pings, because Abadaga was hovering down the river. He was like, hey, you know, he's threatening his ultimate onto Leah, then he pings up. I'm going to clear this wave first, then I'll come back down.
They're happy to just get 1 grub and try to get out. Shaden, though, maybe going to get caught on the wrong side of the wall. Abadaga looking, forces the flash there with the seismic shove. So they do steal 1 grub. This means you're not going to claim the feat here. Even if you get 2 out of 3, it doesn't count.
Yeah, and you don't get to the 6 powerful double might spawn.
The grub bros.
Exactly. You
only get 1 bro.
you only get 1.
Yep. And you can't choose either. You might get the worst bro.
Oh, no. Yeah. And they're twins, too. So you know one is an evil twin.
Yeah,
and
that's
a
true.
good twin.
That's true.
If you just get stuck with the evil one, then
well,
FF.
That's the break. Yeah, sometimes it happens.
I think there is about a 0% chance of DSG FFing, though, in this game. Their position is insanely good. Let's take a look here. Abba from Brush.
Does get the stun as we see Aurora go across the veil and is going to hop back to safety. Doesn't get hit by the seismic shove, though, so just ate a couple of the rocks. Not too big of a deal, but you can see how annoying that can be. Abadaga, of course, playing phase rush here, and is going to be pretty annoying in these fights in general, but you know, you can be quite squishy on the Taliyah. If your positioning is really good, you're going to be a nightmare for the other team, but if you step 1 foot wrong, there still is that chance of Dignitas finding that perfect engage like you talked about. You know, you were a fan of the draft. This Ashe is vulnerable. The Taliyah is vulnerable. You even talked about Xin Zhao. Sometimes you go a little bit too far forward. You can't get out. So definitely are options here, despite the fact that everything is going DSG's way. It's just a 1,000 gold lead. So when 1 item is completed for Dignitas, they can look for a fight and maybe turn this game right around.
Yeah, they've got their Kraken Slayer done here on Tomo, and you know the Nautilus Kaisa engage like dive is going to be one of the critical parts on trying to get themselves a kill, trying to get some money back into this game. And you know, once you start to get a couple of picks, then you can kind of snowball each pick into 1 extra objective, a little bit more territory on the map. You know, try and build your pathway back into the game that way. But currently DSG with supreme vision control through the river, as well as the dragon is very, very close to spawning here. So they've got most of their boxes checked. Here comes...
Oh, Shaden's going to look. They're going to go for the engage here. Over on Abadaga, who is caught out. Does have a seismic shove defensively. Trying to use that phase rush to get safety. Has to flash over the wall and does accomplish just that. Scary Jerry pulling back, who he has to flash. XU and Castle trying to soak up some damage in the front. Scary Jerry turning around. So he has the Q3 available. A lot of summoners burned on both sides. A lot of people chunked out, but no one dies.
Some good patience showed there by Abadaga as he got jumped on. Saved his flash until the full flank came through, escaping with his life over the wall. And now he does have his Seraphs. Let's see.
TP to top. They're just going to give.
Yeah, it looks like Abba going to run up there to answer as well. He's got Taliyah wall, so Dragon will be the side of DSG. And honestly, I don't even think they're going to take much tower damage on top side.
No.
Abba is actually going to save his Taliyah ultimate, just walk over there. Since it's a cannon wave, doesn't drop anything there either.
Yep, going to be able to claim that. So that is one of the feats completed now, as they do have 2 dragons and 1 full set of the grubs. 1 kill now off of claiming those upgraded boots. So in a great position to be able to do that. But the gold lead is closing ever so slightly. Now only a 600 gold lead here. So Dignitas are saying, you know what? Yeah, it's just the dragon. Let's give it up. Let's make sure we're in a perfect position for this fight. And with the flash already spent on Kaney, with the ult already spent on him, and the cleanse down on Tomo, they just didn't feel comfortable to really go for it.
Yeah, I think, though, because it's a Malignant's Aurora, Kaney should be looking next ultimate immediately. Try and spend this on Abadaga. They got the flash off Talia. That is one of the targets they can try and pressure. And they're going to run out of time if they constantly are giving up objective after objective here. Tomo does get to the other side of the wall, so he is going to be fine. But it's one of the unforgiving things about the current meta on this season of League of Legends. There are so many powerful objectives that just rapid fire continue to spawn that you cannot lose for long before making your big comeback play. And if you have a dive comp like this, you have to try and like full send at one of these flashless champions to be able to get your pick and kind of stop that bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, you can just take Otacon way more easily than you used to be able to take Baron, right? Like, that's just the reality. So the 20-minute objective spawns, that can be under threat immediately at 20 minutes. The situations in which you could take Baron at 20 minutes were pretty few and far between. So that's one of the tough things about it. And giving up Otacon, it pretty much always means GA and pro play, because there's just almost never get that other one spawning. And that almost always means a big fight before Baron and maybe that next objective. So it is very, very difficult to give up. But Dignitas have done a good job keeping the gold close, and it's just going to be down to, can you execute in the fight where you decide to kind of make your stand here. First tower not claimed for either team, so that is still up for grabs. And of course, just the 2-0 kill lead here for DSG. Feels like they're moving around the map well, but haven't been able to really push the advantage at all.
Let's see here. Static Shiv doing its job, pushing the wave here in the mid for DSG. As the engage comes through, nice rock field here. The E from Abba does chunk Shaden as he walks in.
Oh, Xu's just going to go forward there. Clone to safety from Shaden. Can they follow? Huhi looking, but doesn't let it rip here. Just going to try to claim this Herald and use that to grab first tower. Huhi looking for Kaney on the side. The ulti is going to be a whiff, though, and Shaden trying to move back for this. They're going to look for the engage here onto Abadaga. Abadaga in a lot of trouble potentially here between two worlds. The ultimate's going to get thrown down. Scary Jerry firing in the back line. They're trying to keep him safe. Surdy looking to go forward here. Doesn't find the Q3 onto Castle. Castle trying to go for the re-engage, but he's down dangerously low. Xu on the side can't really get involved. Going to go back in, hits the eye, gets the smite, claims the Herald, and they're trying to chase. Can Scary Jerry find anyone else? Doesn't look like it. It's a trade of kills here, 1-for-1. Shaden for Abadaga.
Ooh, I like it. At least, you know, they're keeping the action in there. Dignitas go for it. They go after the flashless Abba, and they do get their target. You know, these low mobility carries, but still costing them. Still the sacrifice here, the 1-for-1, and then Xu, being the only jungler left alive, has an easy way to hit the eyeball plus smite combination. Here's another look at it as they all dived in, though. Tomo there had ulted right in as well to be able to finish that one off. But then, since Scary Jerry here on Ashe, the slow is actually really annoying towards the end stages. And there you go, eyeball hit plus smite for Xu. Going to be the objective once again. So you have the even trade on kills, but again, Rift Herald picked up here is going to mean another one of the towers eventually is going to go down here, or at least actually the first one. They still have not taken a single one here, so first tower bonus definitely up for grabs, although they are very weak and will go down pretty easily. Yep,
going to be able to grab those easily, and of course the third kill means they got the upgraded boots, so DSG do claim that. You can see the tier almost fully stacked for Castle. Just one more spell and we'll have that upgraded and ready to go. Now gets that upgrade available here, so Surdy going to be having a lot more trouble up on that top side, and has really elected to just stack heavily towards the MR, which does mean, you know, against the Xin Zhao, against the Ashe, is going to be a lot more susceptible. Abadaga just pushing down in bot side, going to be able to threaten the move up towards mid, and now it is Hextech Soul that is going to be on the table here. The third dragon spawning in 30 seconds. DSG have a lot of wards in this area. They clearly want to play heavily for this, and this is going to be something that Dignitas can't really ignore. You can't afford to give over Hextech Soul, so they have to decide, do we try to fight now, or do we give this up and then make our stand at Soul Point?
Yeah, probably later. They're in a bit of pain right now. Mid tower guaranteed taken down. Oh, Rift Herald, another failure here. I mean,
Huhi's banned, Xu's banned.
Yeah. So this one, like you actually, the last one, like you couldn't even really do anything with it.
This one you could have done something with.
So this one, you wanted to actually get it down
Castle's
towards
behind
bottom
them. They're going
lane.
to look for the engage. They are going to find Isles. Nice buffer on the hook. In comes the Weaver's Wall, but the teleport is coming from behind. Dignitas going to try to turn around and turn on this teleport. Surdy has to get out of there. Nice buffer of the W. Flash forward from Shaden. Shaden in the backline. Tomo's going to join too. Scary Jerry is in trouble, and Scary Jerry is shut down. XU's got to get back involved. Hui trying to run. Surdy is chasing him down. Abadaga on the side, trying to fight against Tomo. He will be able to kill off Tomo. Now he's trying to battle against Kaney. Kaney, though, hits the twofold hex, knocks him down. Castle trying to get involved again, but he's going to get hooked back in by Isles. XU and Castle trying to fight, but it's 2v5, and I don't like those odds for them. Kaney chasing after XU. XU going to go back in once again, but gets flipped back and shut down. A massive engage from Dignitas. Shaden comes to life, and so did Dignitas.
The dive works out this time. They take down Scary Jerry first and finish off the rest of the DSG members. Here another look at it. After they go for the wall, Shaden W's over the Talia wall, and as the full Talia combo is used on Cassante, he goes around the rock field for the Dream. Double Wukong knockup on both DSG carries.
Yep.
He gets the Ashe and the Talia, so Tomo's able to follow in with him. And although Tomo does fall in this, they're still able to clean everyone up because of it. And it's very rare to get those double carries that don't have escapes standing right next to each other. And the Talia Rockfield had just been used in defense on the Cassante. And so Shaden saw the angle, went for it, and got a very clutch team fight for Dignitas.
They're
although
just giving Otacon?
the objectives still go their way. I have to assume because of the reset there before on the while the replay was going. But DSG, their reset is better, is quicker to the bottom side. They get the Otacon buff as well as the extra tower gold.
I feel like it's pretty rare that you see the team that is down on gold get an uncontested Otacon like that. They're able to get on the map, take that, and they're going to be able to knock down some towers now as well. That was just really nicely played by Shaden. Even nice animation cancel on the Q. Got the EQ, instant animation cancel with the R for that damage. Most of your damage is not the R, it is actually the Q on Wukong. Surdy trying to hold on here and defend, and they will have to just try to delay through this buff. Nice clone there from Shaden, but might get cut off by the Weaver's Wall. Barely able to get over there, and the blast cone to safety out of that seismic shove. That was key. They almost got caught there. Surdy trying to clear out this wave as much as he can. He's just going to flash in and go aggressive. I don't know what this is from Surdy. We'll see if it works out. But in comes Tomo into the backline, and Tomo is going crazy, taking down Abadaga. Going to be able to take down Hui as well. And now it's XU versus the world. XU and Castle trying to make it happen. But what a fight. Tomo just eviscerated them.
Surdy, there you go. That's rank 1 North American solo queue for you. That's what it is. They wipe every Otacon revive off the map, and those are 200 gold a pop nowadays, plus the flower bonus there. Dignitas, gold lead improves for them. 5 heads, sacrifice the Otacon just to kill them with it.
That was crazy. Surdy goes in, and I guess it was just to apply plasma there
Tomo,
for the Kaisa to ult in, and Tomo went huge.
Yeah, Tomo's able to Killer Instinct over the top, and the dive works out again. Dignitas here looking to push us to a Game 3 decider in this series. They have the gold on their side, though the buffs are still definitely in the favor of DSG due to their early work. A lot of defensive vision being set up here, but again, the flashes here for the DSG carries. This is something from Champ Select. We are looking at how dangerous it's going to be playing against all of these dive angles. Abba and Scary Jerry going to have to keep each other at arm's length. Definitely don't want any more of those like double engages on them, but also need the peel from Castle and Hui for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and I mean, I just have to give a lot of credit to Tomo, though. Finding it, we're going to get the comms here.
Okay. I come. You're in, Gross. Fighting.
Yeah, I'm coming. Okay. I'm getting zoned by Wu.
Got both the carries, yep.
Again.
Holding Zen. Zen or
I come.
Yep.
Look, Zen.
It's good. Don't need to play slower.
Good job.
Okay,
no
push him up.
Can we break bot tower?
So goes.
No.
They're out.
Again, both the carries standing right next to each other, and Surdy got the empowered Q on both of them. The knock up, knock back on both of them. It was really good engage from him. Goes right on both, gets the CC on them, and with Tomo flying over the top, they have the damage, immediately take out the carries, and then, well, yeah, it's just Otacon buffs, but you took away all of your opponent's damage, so Dignitas didn't lose anything by wiping all those buffs off, and you still get gains. in that play. So nicely done from them.
And they're also just showing they know how to take these 5v5s, right? That's back-to-back team fight wins that they did really dominate. The kills don't go on the scoreboard for that, of course, but they crush the fight around mid, they crush the fight around bot. Really nice engage from Surdy. When he first flashed forward, I was thinking this was not going to work, but you know, it shows why he is the pro player. Definitely made it happen there. XU, though, on the top side. Surdy not going to be in much trouble, just buffers the W, going to be able to walk it right back to the tower. As Kaney pushing down on bot side, you can see Scary Jerry's on a reset. And they're just going to be preparing for these next dragons. 40 seconds until the next dragon, 40 seconds until the next Baron. Dignitas, of course, took that last dragon, so DSG still looking to move themselves to Soul Point.
A lot of these Dignitas champs are really hard to peel off of your low mobility carries too, so it is a very difficult task. Try and keep those carries alive, but this one, I would assume Dignitas here with full control should be able to close in here for Dragon, but we are getting a reset. DSG coming out. Castle positioning like he wants to open up space.
Tomo may be in trouble. Going to have to use the cleanse very early. The Leona ult does connect. He's going to flash out of that, though. Kaney now coming in. It's a counter engage on the other side from Shaden, but he has to flash out of safety as well. XU flashing forward to try to follow. Tries to look for the win, becomes lightning on to Tomo. Can't find it. Surdy, though, in the front. Mai himself here. Some poke coming back from both sides. The initial skirmish going the way of DSG for sure, but XU going to get pulled back here. Surdy trying to find some more damage. They're pushing up mid. Scary Jerry working on that tier 2, but Kaney going to look for a potential engage. Pops out the ulti, but he gets caught by Hui. Nice bounce to the other side of the ultimate, and now Isles is behind him with Surdy. Scary Jerry trying to run, but he can't get out of there. Tomo takes him down again. Dignitas taking over the fight. It's Abadaga and Castle, but they've got nothing to say about this one. The team fight is dominated once more by Dignitas.
Tomo with the triple. Can he get the quadra here? Abba's on the run.
They're going to try to chase him down. Isles gets in range, does land the ulti. Shaden can clone over the wall, going to go for it. Abadaga trying to survive. Nice seismic shove, will keep him safe, but that won't keep the Baron safe.
Certainly not, unless he goes for some crazy miracle steal with some Q around the side or something here. Isn't even going to go for it. That's going to be Dignitas Baron, and it's a different type of Dig Baron here. This is a comeback Baron. 6,000 gold ahead now for Dignitas.
Yep, and the Dragon's even on the map. You can see pings over onto it. They're going to run straight out for this. Tomo, third item now complete here. Has the Nashers, just hit the upgrade, so should have that evolved W available to go now. Surdy is just a brick wall at the front line, and Scary Jerry cannot stay safe in these fights. DSG going to try to rush this one down. We'll see if they can do it.
Shaden and Isles around the side here. Hexgate over.
Surdy's in the back line, and the engage is starting already here. Isles is back on Hui. You can see Scary Jerry caught out again by Shaden. He is just dead. All three members got in the back line. They were able to take him down. And now they're trying to chase after Abadaga. Kaney uses the ulti to get in on top of him, hits the twofold hex, takes him down. Castle on the run, may survive, but Surdy says no. Flashing forward, flips him into the team. It's a triple for Kaney on the Aurora. Dignitas just can't lose in these team fights.
And DSG carries just can't do much about it. They're getting ripped apart from all sides. If it's not the Wukong, it's the Aurora. If it's not the Aurora, it's the Cassante, or it's the Nautilus ultimate. And Tomo is always there to fly over the top and finish off these kills. Dignitas now able to push multiple objectives at the same time. Baron buff Siege, takes out mid turret, takes out the Dragon, pushes on bottom side before getting this reset into Hexgate right back out.
I mean, these fights are just not close. It's 14-4 on the scoreboard. That does not count the 5 kills to 0 they got with the Otacon. These fights have just been decimated by Dignitas. And again, Scary Jerry just can't stay safe. They get behind him with the double TP.
Yeah, Wukong right on him, Leona ult on him. He's like, cleanse, I get like an auto attack off, and I'm just surrounded by enemies here. Nice engage from Dignitas once again, just completely dissecting this DSG comp. Running right past them, getting both those carries down, and then they just get to collect everything on the map. I mean, honestly, we are headed straight for that game number 3, Azale.
Yeah, it feels like there's no recourse in this one for DSG. Even if Scary Jerry had the time, he's so far behind now. An entire item down from Tomo, who was able to pick up the Seeker's arm guard, so has that stasis available.
And the Medjai's upgraded for Kaney. Love to see it, especially with Auroras, because Auroras can stay very safe. And I find that Auroras rack up a lot of assists, if not kills, quite easily with the big ultimate application. So, you know, he's got his 10 already for the bonus. They're moving in. They can actually go for pushing on all 3 lanes. They even let Isles reset here on Nautilus, so Looks like they are going to tentatively keep every minion wave up front, while Isles himself tries to make use of the Hex Gates to get right back.
Interesting stat. So if Dig win, this will be the first time in the entire split that the team who took Otacon lost. Which is pretty rare.
We're setting records here, baby.
We are setting records, and you have to say, though, it was from a weird position because they had already lost the team fight. You know, before that, they were down in gold, but they found a time where there wasn't any tempo to be able to grab that. Huhi going to be able to get chunked down here. Does pop the locket, will stay safe, but he is very low. Abadaga just going to use the Weaver's Wall to try to buy them some space. He's chunked out as well, as these Kaisa Ws are really starting to hurt from Tomo. The range is tough, man.
I mean, the Kaisa W's hurt. His auto's also hurt. Like, you know,
he doesn't hurt.
Looking at him, it's just like, oh my God, I'm gonna die now. There's also probably Wukong and Aurora right behind me. It's just like it makes it so hard for DSG to go anywhere on the map because they know every angle here could be a flank angle. Jerry, though, and Abba both have their... well, actually, there's a little bit left on Abba's flash and a tiny, tiny sliver left on Jerry's. So if they just wait a little bit longer, then they'll have both of those flashes, and they could try and get some sort of structure to their team fight. Walking over these wards, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard, right? Because you want to say from this spot, kind of turtle it up, try to scale it out, but like I don't think they win later. It's just so hard for the Ashe to stay safe in these fights. It feels like Abadaga trying to teleport out to safety, will be able to do it. Does get out of there just in the nick of time, and is going to be able to get back to the base. Has the gold for the Void Staff completion. You can see the Mortal Reminder finished for Scary Jerry now as well, so they have their penetration upgraded, but still very far behind where their counterparts are on the other side. And Kaney and Tomo haven't even gone back to base for quite some time to buy. Castle gonna think about it, will take the fight. We'll see if they can try to chase down Kaney. Abadaga is around, but does not have the ultimate available quite yet. So it is just gonna be Kaney popping the ultimate, goes between worlds, and jumps over the wall.
Yep, and he is Malignant's build and level 17 here, so quite a short cooldown on that one. Just for the escape, plenty of time. It'll be right back before they go for another big engage. So here comes the extra move. One dragon here in 115, but Baron's going to arrive first, so everybody moves their vision over to Baron area.
Uh-oh, Huhi in some trouble here. Does have the flash. We'll see if he has to actually use it. Abadaga trying to peel off of him with the seismic shove. Will be able to do just that, but Tomo lands a W on him. You can see it again and again, poking over the wall from so far away. Abadaga going to be pushed back to base. They're trying to maintain some vision in this area, looking for Kaney. Can't find him with the Ashe Arrow, and that does hurt. One of their primary engage tools, one of their primary pick tools is going to be a flash traded out there. As Isles looked for Huhi, couldn't find him.
What can DSG do here? It's just so dangerous here. They definitely need to step one, at least get a way to get to Baron to try and contest the Baron. If they give up this dragon, it's not the end of the world. Of course, they got the first two, so this is only going to be number 3 for Dignitas if they sacrifice it. But the Baron is like the tool that dive comps use to end the game, because that gives you your siege. So they do have to come get some vision and try and contest around this Baron. It's also the place where you can win a lot of these comeback team fights because of the Baron Shred. 10,000 gold results in a big item difference, though, when they actually get into the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's a full Zonia's on top of everything that Scary Jerry has, right? He has that full completed 4th item. You have the Mage Eyes plus the large rod, and you have no one answering Surdy for now. Abadaga just trying to continually poke away over the wall there, trying to make them take that Baron damage, but they're just going to start this one up. Tomo will kill this very, very fast. I don't know if they're going to stick on it, though. Shaden does take about 30% of his health, so is a little bit of a punishment for starting that up. And for now, DSG avert disaster and will not let them claim it.
Yeah, they achieve minimum defense there, which is get control of your jungle so you can walk up to the Baron and just hawkshot over. You have vision, so that at least they won't be able to take that. They'll take the lesser of the objectives, and Dignitas will get their dragon number 3. They will get themselves to Soul Point. But Dragon's Soul is very deep into the game, and they're probably going to be looking for one of those big team fights even before.
Yep, Tomo pushing in. You can see Surdy matching Castle on the side. Might get pushed back, but it doesn't really matter. It's 3 straight Hextech Drakes. Grab them. Ability haste, attack speed. Another arrow going to be thrown out, but across the veil, easy dodge.
If you get hit by, if an Aurora gets hit by that, you got some problems.
Yeah, especially on vision. Now they're going to get TP'd on Scary Jerry. In trouble. Shaden going to flash forward. Finds the Cyclone. Scary Jerry going to flash over the wall. But the follow is there. Surdy and Tomo knock him down. And Abadaga is going to be captured on the other side. Huhi out of position. Dying to Kaney. But it's Abadaga on the run. They're going to blast going over the wall. They're trying to chase him. Abadaga has nowhere to go. Shaden is in the back line. XU and Castle may be able to finish him off. We'll see if they can do that. But here comes Surdy. Here comes Tomo. They're going to elect to just kind of pull it back. Head back over potentially to that Baron.
Yeah.
XU is still up though.
That puts a whole stop to your momentum there because the jungler goes down. Now there's no smite.
They're going to look for the turn though. Isles going to be able to hook in, is onto Castle. Surdy trying to flank around from the side. Castle's in a lot of trouble. Between worlds goes Kaney. You can see the Crescent Guard used there for defense from XU, but the twofold Hex connects. That is a big slow, and the flash used. Castle is down. Now they're right back to the Baron with no flash for XU.
Shaden's on 25 seconds.
By the ward.
Yeah, there's this vision everywhere. He has no pathway.
Yeah, there's every single path is covered, including the lane with those minions. XU, you may as well still try. You know you're insanely far behind.
They can bait him in.
Gets him a little bit of vision. Isles hooks into the wall. He can't actually find his way in. Over the wall, they get the kill. They are not going to flip this one. Huhi is there, but can't really make anything happen. Now comes the TP from Abadaga. Can he make a miracle happen here? He's on the side, trying to threaten. Looks for the seismic shove, can't find Surdy. The Baron getting incredibly low. The Ash arrow misses again. This Baron is so low. Scary Jerry trying to take down Isles while Abadaga pushes back the rest of Dignitas. Isles will fall, and DSG again hang on there, and that could have been so much worse. If Scary Jerry hit an Ash arrow there, that was another kill, and maybe it's them starting up the Baron.
I really wanted someone to get in there to keep the Baron leash too. Like, that thing was at 1700. That was so close to going down.
Just no flashes, no way in.
Yeah, I was like, oh, somebody get in there, keep it leashed. This could get really exciting, but they get the full disengage and just sacrifice the Nautilus there for the the extended version here of game number 2.
Extended cut.
We are certainly watching the extended cut of this game. 35.
Are we going to get the director Kobe commentary on this too?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how many Barons this game goes to.
The third Baron was really my favorite. This one was special.
Truly. This one definitely has a meaning to me that, well, let's see if it has a meaning to Tomo. It looks like these Ash arrows are just like, they're also thrown at people that have speed boosts and have abilities to dodge. So,
I mean, I get the attempts, but it's not even always from out of vision. Like, they are low percentage arrows for sure. So obviously feeling the desperation a bit though. Surdy going forward here does find Abadaga. There's a seismic shot for defense, but it just doesn't even matter. He gets caught by Shaden and Kaney, and he is gone already. Scary Jerry in the back line trying to survive, but he's going to get knocked up and knocked down by Dignitas, and this is going to be the end of that. Huhi's going to fall as well. The last standing member does die. It's a clean wipe for Dignitas. They're marching on the base.
There we go. The long-awaited answer from Dignitas in game number 2. 13K gold lead as they march on these Nexus turrets and push us to a deciding game.
It's a team fight masterclass from Dignitas. They destroy DSG in fight after fight after fight. We are going the distance. One win to decide who goes home.